Hello there, welcome back. For this next bunch of videos, we're going to be adding a few bits and pieces that are all there to make the site look nice. That's basically the vibe, you know? And I'm going to start off with one of the most commonly used basic bells and whistles of the bunch. And that's a little JavaScript thing that's called lightbox, okay? So do you see how this guitar here is not quite fitting onto the page? And by the way, this is a big screen I'm on here. Maybe I should do this, in fact. But you can see that the guitar's not quite happening, right? Well, there is a vibe called lightbox, and if I just do a search for lightbox on Google, maybe lightbox.js, oh gee. It's an unobtrusive script, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sure you've seen this kind of thing before. The idea is you have a smaller image, and when you click on it, we get something like that, okay? It's a nice little effect. It's kind of cool. And I think it's something that might potentially be good here. On the other hand, it might turn out to be rubbish because the picture's going to be too narrow. Doesn't really matter. Listen, some of these things are going to look rubbish. You might not even think they are improvements, but who cares? Let's just go along with it anyway, and hopefully you'll pick up one or two things, you know? So, shall we... Oh, by the way, I had a look on bootsnip.com. I couldn't find anything that was that good here. Shall we try again? Would you like to try again? I'll try again. Okay then, I can hear you, man. I can hear you. Okay folks, well I've had a little look around the web, and to my surprise I actually just discovered something a few minutes ago, and I think it could be quite good. It's a little variation on the original lightbox, and it's very easy to use, so check this out. It's called featherlight.js, okay, and it looks pretty good. All credit to Noel Bossart, made in Switzerland. And let me show you how this works. Have a look at that. It's very simple, but I think that's quite nice, you know. And the good news is we don't need to install anything because it's using things that we already have with Bootstrap, you know. So let me show you how this works. If we just go to the documentation. Now, this looks horrific. I mean, look at this. When I first saw this, I thought, oh no, this is, oh, here we go again. But actually, it's a 1 minute job. It's going to be really, really easy, and let me just show you how this works, okay? The first thing we do is we add a style sheet onto the head section of our website. So I'm going to open up Public Bootstrap, right? Let's do this together. We'll open up Public Bootstrap, and in the head section, we are linking to a style sheet. Now notice folks, it's an external style sheet, and that's okay just to get out of the starting blocks, okay? Next, we head. Now it says here that this requires jQuery version 1.7.0 or higher, right? 1.7. Now if we view our source code, you should find some good news, because we are using, if we go down the bottom here, we're using jQuery 1.11, so we can definitely use this. That's excellent news, okay? So we don't need to include any jQuery stuff or anything. That's all cool. And there's a little JavaScript file here. Again, it's an external one, but the vibe is we need to include that at the bottom of the page, right? So I'll just chuck it in round about here. Again, it's an external thing, and that's kind of cool. Now, believe it or not, folks, that is pretty much it. Now all we need to do is find a little example. So here's an image example that I've just grabbed. And for the moment, only for the moment, folks, do you hear me? It's only for the moment. I'm going to jump into the container thing here. This is where the main action happens. And please stay cool, because I'm only testing the thing. Everything's cool, right? Now, let me get a good picture somewhere. Okay, so I'm on Google here. I'm just going to search for any old image, right? Something like classic car. That'll do me. You can get anything you want. It's all cool. And isn't that a nice looking car? I think that looks very cool. So I'm going to use this. For some reason, my right click, I've got it now. Okay, so copy image address, and I'm going to chuck that inside this little link thing here, like so. Okay, so if we save that and then go back to the shop and hit refresh, now keep an eye on the top left hand side. If we click on this, it's fantastic. Isn't that nice? Look at that. Even the close button and everything works. Okay, so that's the basics of how this thing works. All we need to do now is get it working on one of these instrument pages here. Alright kids, now to get us out of the starting blocks here, the first thing that I'd like to do is get rid of these two external links here. You know, it's nice that this stuff works, and thank you to the guy, and maybe I'll send him an email or something. That's fantastic, but I don't know, it makes me kind of nervous when things are hosted just on some guy's site. It's a different story if it's Google hosting the thing, but this kind of thing's maybe not going to make me sleep too comfortably at night. So I'm going to copy that address, paste it into the address bar here, and here is the file. Okay, so I'm going to copy this vibe, and ye shall find that this is called featherlight.min.js, right? So I'm going to go into our JS folder, create a new file. We're going to call it featherlight.min.js. Okay, that's the vibe. Yes, indeed, featherlight.min.js. So I'm going to paste in all that stuff, and that's us. We can now just close that, and we'll change the address here. Okay, so the address is going to now be base URL js/featherlight.min.js. Thank you very much indeed. Now there's one up the top here as well, and it's a style sheet, so let's just get that, shall we? So I'm going to chuck the style sheet in the URL, the address bar thing even, and here is the style sheet, right? So we'll copy this, and what's it saved as? featherlight.min.css, right? Okay, so I'll go into the CSS folder, featherlight.min.css. That's going to be the name of the file, and I'm pasting in all of the CSS stuff. So now we just have to change this address so that it's going to base URL css/featherlight.min.css. okay, so that's good. We've now taken away those external links. We can function as an independent website. Yes, it's all glorious and it looks something like that. Okay, so that's cool. The next stage is to get this working on these pages here. Okay, now obviously everything we've been doing on public bootstrap is just a test. Okay, clearly we're not going to want this in every single page. That would be kind of mad. And as a matter of fact, we're not even going to want to have this lightbox stuff appearing on every single page. That would be inefficient and very uncool. Okay, so the vibe is we only want this light stuff appearing whenever we need this. So here's what we're going to do. Remember store items, at how we had store items building this thing, and then it uses the URL musical/instrument, right? We'll check this. If we open up store items and then go to view, right, now this is where the action happens. If I was to do a die statement here, we would have a white page, right? I'm not going to bother though because I'm trying to save time. What I'm going to do is just after the flash thing, somewhere just before the page loads, I mean it can be anywhere actually, but I'm just going to say use _ featherlight equals true. Okay, so I've just created a brand new variable and I've added it onto the view file. It's called use featherlight, right? So if I now go to public bootstrap here, in fact, it's probably no, I'm not going to patronize you. I was going to do a thing in ifs and show you are using. Look, let's just do an if statement. So it's going to be if is set use featherlight. Okay, if is set use featherlight, then that's when we're going to do this link thing here. Okay, it's just a very simple little if statement, and it's going to be super efficient. Now notice, folks, I'm not saying if the URL is this or the URL is that. You know, it's nothing complicated. It's actually the most simple if statement known to humanity. That's what we're using here, folks. It doesn't get much easier. So if we want to use this featherlight thing, all we need to do, oh gee, what did I just do there? All we need to do is add in a variable called use featherlight, and then public bootstrap will figure out the rest. You know, it's as simple as that. Now don't forget there's one downstairs as well here, so we'll do the same vibe here. If is set use featherlight, here you go. It's just one simple if statement, and like I say, anytime we need this thing, we're just gonna add in use featherlight. It's going to be fantastic. This will not load up on the home page or contact us or any place where we don't need it. Can you handle the vibe? I think you can. So that's good. Is it worth me patronizing you and proving the point? Well, you've put up with me this long. What difference will a couple of seconds make? So if we view the source code, you'll see that the featherlight is being loaded here, right, on the items page. But if we go to the home page and do the same vibe, come on, man, this mouse of mine's a bit funny today. You'll see that it does not load up the featherlight vibe, okay? Yes, I do have a degree in stating the bleeding obvious. Okay, right, let's go, folks. Let's rock and roll. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do straight away is take out this link thing here. Where on earth is it? Ah, this thing here. Open image in lightbox. We really don't need that, okay? So we'll take that out. And let's look at store items view, and you'll see that the name of the view file is view. So I'm going to open up store items /view.php, and this is where the action is, okay? That's the thing that draws the big guitar and all of that stuff. Now, if you look closely, you'll see that there's one of those IMG responsive vibes going on. So if we change this call to 3, and if we change this one to 6, okay, you should notice there's no lightbox stuff going on here, but you should notice that the picture is a little bit smaller. Can you see that? Just a little bit smaller. We can go even smaller if you want. Are you feeling that crazy? I think you are. Okay, so let's go to 7. Watch it going smaller again. Okay, can you see the vibe? I think you can see the vibe. Yes, congratulations. And what an awesome vibe it is. So now all we need to do, I'm going to paste in the link from the featherlight thing, right? That's what featherlight wants. It wants something like that to be going on. So let's just change the picture. So I'm going to change whatever this thing is, the classic car thing. We're now changing to the proper picture, and inside here, instead of saying opening lightbox and having some weird text, guess what I'm going to have, folks? Yes, you nailed it in one. I'm going to have the image, but remember, that will be a smaller version of the image. Okay, big moment. Here we go. I'm refreshing, and I'm going to click. Is that not the most fantastic thing in the universe? I think it is. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video.